The story of George Saitoti. Was his death a political betrayal or a convenient tragedy? Let's dive into understanding how one of the most key political figures in the land met his timely demise. George Saitoti was a remarkable figure in Kenya's history, known for his contributions to the country's economic development, politics, and governance. Here is a story of a man many would argue was taken out of succession politics. George Musengi Saitoti was born in 1945 and raised in Ngong, Kajiado County. Saitoti's brilliance in academics earned him scholarships, allowing him to study at Mangu High School, one of Kenya's elite institutions at the time. His aptitude for mathematics led him abroad, where he studied at the University of Brandeis in the United States, earning a bachelor's degree in mathematics and economics. He pursued further studies at the University of Sussex and later completed a PhD in mathematics at the University of Warwick, specializing in algebraic topology. George Saitoti's career spanned academia, economics, and politics. He was a mathematics lecturer at the University of Nairobi. Saitoti's career in public service began with his appointment as the executive chairman of the World Bank and International Monetary Fund, IMF, in Kenya. His economic expertise and reputation for integrity made him an asset to Kenya's public sector, and later transitioned into politics where he served as vice president, cabinet minister for education, 2003 to 2008, and later became the minister for internal security, 2008 to 2012. Saitoti had presidential aspirations, and the United States supported his ambitions. USA wanted him to identify the drug lords in order to win their support. The Saitoti family would later reveal that he lived a life veiled in secrecy, surrounded by a select few who knew his whereabouts at any given time. He clung to his trusted bodyguards and resisted any attempts to replace them. His food was always cooked under the watch of his bodyguards and tested before consuming. Even in the presence of female dancing groups during public events in Kajiado, he did not take any chances. On a trip to Mombasa, where then-President Mwai Kibaki and the MPs were present, Saitoti did the unimaginable. Instead of staying at the hotel that had been reserved, he gave his bodyguard the room's keys, who spent the night there and went ahead to make reservations at another hotel. When it was his turn to address the media at the Intercontinental Hotel in Mombasa, he had no idea that it would be the last time the media would record him speaking in public. In 2010, Saitoti publicly named prominent figures in a parliamentary session who included Mike Mbuvi, Ali Hassan Joho, John Mwao, and William Kabogo for their alleged involvement in the drug trade.
I have been informed the following are the honorable members. Suspected. Honorable Mbuvi himself. Yes, Mr. Speaker. That's what there is. Honorable Joho, Honorable Mwao, and Honorable Kabogo.
No sooner had Saitoti finished than an agitated Juja MP William Kafogo leaped to his feet, claiming that the Internal Security Minister had not revealed it all.
That document is a source document from...
Order, honorable members.
A very experienced minister, Mr. Speaker, former vice president, is being economical with the truth. And there are two other names, Mr. Speaker, that he omitted that are in that dossier, of members of parliament who are mentioned in that dossier, the Honorable Simon Bogwa and the Honorable Jean Wamalwa.
Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members.
These did not go down well with those MPs who were named, with all of them trying unsuccessfully to demand that their names be expunged from the list until investigations are complete.
I have children who go to school. I have never dealt in drugs. I don't even know how those things that are called whatever they're called look like. Mr. Speaker, as you know, I am a presidential candidate. As you know, Mr. Speaker, there are powerful forces out there.
This bold move sent shockwaves through the political elite, as those named were well-connected individuals with deep ties to influential networks in Kenya. The fallout was swift and dangerous. There were threats against his life. Sources close to Saitoti revealed that he had received death threats after naming the drug lords. Isolation. Even within his political party, some allies began to distance themselves, fearing association with his crusade against corruption and crime. Sabotage rumors. reports emerged of attempts to discredit Saitoti's leadership, with whispers of plots to remove him from his ministerial position. A day after Saitoti made public the identities of the accused drug cartels, on June 10, 2012, he was scheduled to go with his Assistant Minister of Internal Security, Orwa Ojode, to a church fundraising event in Ndiwa, Homa Bay County. They arrived at Wilson Airport in the morning at around 8 a.m. with Orwa Ojode. In addition to serving as his assistant minister, Orwa Ojode was a very close friend to Saitoti. They boarded a Eurocopter AS-350 helicopter. But little did they know that the night before the travel, the pilot's schedule had been changed, and he was now supposed to travel with junior pilots. Earlier, he was supposed to travel with senior pilots, led by Rogers Mbithi and Captain Rogers Kuto. Junior pilots Nancy Gitwanja and Luke Oyugi were called in the middle of the night while they were on retreat in a club called Dam Busters, instructing them to report on duty the following morning. Tragically, the helicopter crashed in Kibiku Forest, Ngong Hills, killing all 6 occupants: 2 pilots, Nancy Gitwanja and Luke Oyugi, 2 bodyguards, Inspector of Police Joshua Tonke, and a police officer by the name Thomas Marimi. The crash immediately sparked suspicion. Theories range from political assassination due to his anti-drug stance. He was also supposed to be a key witness in the ICC, having been the chairman of the ICC committee within Parliament as the foreign minister, to retaliation from al-Shabaab operatives or rivals.
Saitoti was to be a key witness at the ICC, they say, having been the chairman of the ICC committee within Parliament as foreign minister. Number 2, he was leading the war against al-Shabaab. And number 3, leading the war against the drug barons. And we saw the story about the drug barons the other day on television. Yeah. So my hunch is that the motive would lie, if it is an assassination, it would lie within these 3 reasons. And Orwa Ojode was just collateral damage. We have become a narco state. That's what we are. And unfortunately, as we saw...
The investigation into George Saitoti's tragic death was marred by allegations of concealed evidence, further fueling speculations. Critics of the official inquiry pointed to several instances where key information appeared to have been withheld or tampered with, undermining the credibility of the findings. It was alleged that the then NIS director, Michael Gachangi, instructed doctors handling the autopsy not to report some of the findings. Friends, family, journalists, and anyone who also seemed to have an interest in the case were tracked by the NIS, which was then called NSIS. Some of the members of Parliament also began to question the silence of the Office of the Commissioner of Police, which was under Matthew Itere, who seemed not to be in a hurry to start an investigation despite the loss of his boss. Autopsy reports revealed that Saitoti and his pilots had inhaled toxic gases, cyanide and carbon monoxide, while in the air. Independent doctors would later reveal, depending with the concentration of the gas, it would only take 10 minutes to kill someone when inhaled, and so there was a possibility that the pilots died mid-air as a result of breathing in the gas, which caused the helicopter to lose control and crash. It was alleged the poisonous gas was hidden in the cockpit of the plane and began to leak at a certain altitude. However, government pathologist Dr. Johansen Oduor instructed the doctors to ignore these findings, and they should not be included in the committee report that President Kibaki ordered to be formed to investigate Saitoti's death. Another twist to the plot is that in all the 6 people who lost their lives in the crash, only 2 were subjected to the toxicology analysis, raising more questions about the incredibility of the autopsy report. Till today, that file has remained to be cold.